and welcome back to Dr. Drill's Making Motivation podcast, where it is our mission to honor authentic and interesting people, tell their stories, put some smiles on faces and a little fire under the asses of the masses. Today is Sunday, March 10th, 2024 at 2 p.m., and I've got a good friend of mine from back in the Marine Corps day, from 1st Battalion, 6th Marines, Charlie Company, 3rd Platoon. I give you guys Kip Tillman. Welcome, Kip.
Appreciate it, bro.
Hey, man, I really thank you for coming on here. As we've been talking a little bit about behind the scenes, we've had some of our brothers on, and my motivations for doing this and the Making Motivation podcast is really just to reconnect with some people who are very special in my life. We shared time together. We trained together. We lived together in our formative years and served together in the Marine Corps. And so it's very special. And so you've got a very unique background that I think the listener and the viewer will want to know about. That is, you served an entire enlistment in the Marine Corps, grunts, and then you got out and joined the French Foreign Legion. So that's going to be pretty cool to talk about. I'm excited myself, and I've heard some of the stories before. But let's just start from the beginning there, Kip. Where are you from, and what was like growing up for you?
So mostly from Columbus, Georgia. I was supposed to be born in Germany. My mama came back here to have me in the States, and then went back to fucking Germany. I started school there, so first 5 years of my life was in Germany, and then came back. My mom and them divorced. She ended up hooking up with another dude in the Army. Lived in Alaska for a couple years. He got out, so we came back to Griffin, Georgia, not too far down the road from where fucking Nunn is.
Okay.
And they ended up splitting up, so we came back to Columbus, and that's pretty much where I grew up after that.
Okay. Yeah. And what's life like in Columbus? This setting, urban setting?
It's a shithole, especially nowadays. But where I grew up on the south side of Columbus, so I was basically the minority. You know what I mean? Like my high school was 93% black. There was 2 of us on the football team. That type of deal.
So how was that for you?
Say again?
How was that for you?
It is. It's just how it was, you know. It wasn't a fucking like a big deal. It's just, you know, we're chameleons. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of competition, to say the least, especially when you're the minority. So, yeah. And I tried to fucking excel. So, and when I did, you know, I let everybody fucking know about it. So that's those are the roots of fucking Tillman's loud fucking mouth. You know what I mean?
So sports?
Fuck yeah. Started playing football at 10. I wanted to play earlier, but my mama wouldn't let me. And yeah, so 10 until I graduated. I played a little semi-pro afterwards. Never made it to college, even though I know I probably could have, but that's another story.
What position?
Receiver and fucking outside linebacker, bro.
Awesome.
Yeah, the littlest motherfucker on the team that'll knock your fucking head off. But I had to, you know what I mean? And the jokers I played with, like, these were fucking monsters, bro. We had like 6 dudes on my sophomore team. because they closed my school down after my sophomore year, but 6 of them like went Division 1. So, and we was rated number 1 in the state in 2 categories. We got put out in the playoffs, and fucking it sucked because everybody was thinking we was gonna win the state, but it didn't happen.
Not too shabby.
Nah, it was good. It was a lot of fun, man.
Isn't who from?
Say what? No, I think that joker's from. I thought he was from South Carolina or something.
Oh, you're right.
Don't test me now. I didn't know he was gonna do fucking what do you call it? Quiz. Some fucking quizzes. Testing me on my fucking country. I just got in the country like maybe 7, 8, 10 years ago, maybe.
So you mentioned the rifle platoon.
In high school?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like my stepdaddy, who I recently got back in touch with because of my mama passing, but we was in the basement in Alaska. He's a army sniper, so he's the one that taught me how to shoot with a little fucking daisy or whatever it was. And so when we went back to Griffin, I would shoot flies off the trash can at my nana's house in the backyard, right? It was just fun. I'd shoot birds and squirrels and crap, but I was in ROTC and somebody talked me into going out for the rifle team, and it got me into more of the entry procedures, right? The proper shooting, because I hadn't had it ingrained in me since I was like 5 or 6, but I ended up as a freshman being the captain of the rifle team, and that was the first time I ever really shot a rifle, but it wasn't really a rifle, it was 22, but you could do some fucking damage with a 22, bro.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think it was all from 50 meters, so that was fun too.
Now that all transfer.
Say again.
Turn your volume. All that was transferable. There you go. So all that transferred into the Marine Corps, snapping in and marksmanship, all that shit.
Oh yeah, and then the Marine Corps just took it to a whole nother fucking level, bro.
Yeah, they did. Huh?
And like, I was interested. The things that if you're interested in something, you're gonna fucking excel.
Yeah.
And I think I shot a 243, 244. Like I seen the Joker. I seen somebody post this dude shot I forget what he shot, but it was like the record, and I couldn't believe it was a record because I think none shot fucking high too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, none's fucking dead on.
Yeah.
I asked him a while back, like, why the fuck didn't you go to state? You know what I mean? But he's a big ass Sasquatch, so he ain't gonna be able to sneak around too much.
He would have tried.
Oh hell yeah, he would have done it too.
Yeah.
He's still doing it.
He is. So growing up in Columbus, playing sports, being part of the community, being a minority, slugging it out. At what point did you decide you want to join the Marine Corps? I mean, it sounded like you had some background in military, like you were kind of a military brat, huh?
Yeah, man. My mama, she raised 3 kids by herself for the most part, you know. So when we moved back to Columbus, we we moved in with my grandma and grandpa, and my grandpa was command sergeant major for Benning, 3-star, fucking 5 bronze, couple Purple Hearts, and you know, he sat me down. I started roofing houses at 12 to help my mom out.
Wow.
And but yeah, so I always, as a kid, I loved being in the woods and playing fucking, you know, army guy. It was automatic for me. I was going to join the army. And so when I was 16, I had a fucking kid, and I'm shitting on myself a little bit, right? Playing sports and fucking after practice, I went to work, washing dishes and shit, delivering pizzas, whatever. I was making money some kind of way. And Pampers ain't fucking cheap, bro.
Yeah.
And so I just automatically figured, you know, I'm going to the fucking army, right? I wanted to be a ranger, and because I grew up right outside of Fort Benning, so back then I don't know how it is now, but you could go to boot camp between your junior and senior year, and fucking after you graduate high school, go active, right? So I went to Atlanta to MEPS and was taking the physical, and I got permanently fucking disqualified, dude, from all the fucking armed forces.
Why?
Yeah, I got fucking bone separation in my knee, and so I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do, right? My senior year, I'm walking down the hallway and I got my Letterman jacket on with my fucking all my uh, accolades, mostly from fucking wrestling, because you know we like to hang our medals on that bitch. But and, you know, wrestling's big up there where you're at. It ain't real big down here, but
Oh yeah.
so Marine recruiters walking down the hallway fucking stops me, asked me if I ever thought about joining the military, and I told him the story. He's like, I can get you in. Fucking so what it was, I reckon being in a army town like that, the fucking army recruiters didn't want to do the paperwork on me because they had jokers lined up down the road to get in, right?
Right.
So Marine recruiter was like, I can get you in, just get some waivers, and got me in. That's how the Marine Corps shit. And then, you know, I get to boot camp. I'm the gudgiest motherfucker there is, right? The only way the drill instructor got me to fucking bring tears to my eyes, he'd get in my ear and fucking whisper to me, this is how gungy I was now. Tillman, you know, it's all, the Marine Corps is going to end up just like the fucking Army with all the fucking mothers of America. And I had fucking tears coming out. That's how fucking gunsy I was, bro. Some of y'all might remember a little bit of it.
Sure. What platoon, battalion?
In boot camp?
Yeah.
3084. You know, they put us out there. We didn't see no women, nothing, unless we went to dinner. You could smell them before you even got there.
I know. That was something else.
Look straight ahead, though.
Yeah, no shit. And so then tell me about, you know, I remember you in school, of course, MCT School of Infantry. We kind of went through. I remember we were going through that together.
You remember me in there?
I do.
Man, y'all got some good memories, man.
Yeah, well, I remember
I remember you in SOI.
Yeah. SOI.
Who else was there with us? I think was Stone. Was Char with us too?
Char was not. You remember a guy named Paramore?
That name sounds familiar.
Big dark green guy.
Yeah, he was in my platoon. Yeah, he had the fucking the warrior spirit or whatever he fucking called it.
He used to say that women ruin the warrior spirit. So
he was a motivator, though, man.
He was fucking harder than most guys in charge of us. Yeah.
I remember that joker. I remember one thing I do remember is we broke the fucking 20-mile record. I don't know if it still stands. I think it was like 4 hours and 7 or 17 minutes.
Hump?
I remember that because I barely made it, bro. Like, I was carrying Saul. You know, I'm a little dude, so yeah, that was rough.
Hell yeah.
I remember when we was in formation, they told us we broke the record. You remember that?
Yeah.
That's one thing I remember, yeah.
And so how about arrival at 1-6?
Yeah, that was fucking. So we're fucking boots, right? We're walking across the fucking what do you call it? The courtyard.
Quad.
Yeah, the quad, in the middle of the quad, and fucking hey, recruit. You try not to look, right? But it's kind of like automatic. It's like fucking instilled. You got all these salty dudes, these salty Marines up on the fucking balcony. Say, hey, recruit. See who's gonna fucking look.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure a few of us.
Hell yeah, probably me too. It's fucking, you know, it's still there. Fucking what? Maybe 2-3 months after boot camp.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't even think they do MCT anymore for grunts.
Not for grunts, no. Who was your chain of command in third platoon?
See that right there? That's what I was saying. I think I commented about y'all having good memories. Like, I remember fucking Glover.
Mm-hmm.
The first dude was my team leader, fucking Rodriguez.
I remember that.
You want to talk about a character?
Tell me about it.
He's just a real ass dude. He fucking he was a good leader. He wasn't a PT stud or nothing like that, but he put it to you point blank, you know. And there's a lot of shit that we had to do that we didn't want to, and a lot of shit we got volunteered for by a kiss ass, you know. And that's just kind of how it is, and you know. He'd set us down and fucking tell us, like, I don't want to do this shit either, but we gotta fucking get it done. Let's go fucking do it better than anybody else. And yeah, he was wild too. You know, he was the reason why we couldn't pull out of Spain.
Why?
He stayed out past what did we have? Cinderella maybe? He hooked up with some chick, man, and he didn't make it back to the ship, so we had a late pullout. He showed up late as fuck. That was the reason. Fucking Rodriguez. Camden, New Jersey.
Straight out of Camden.
Puerto Rican dude.
Yeah, I remember right. And Glover was your platoon sergeant?
Yeah, Glover for float, yeah. And then, see, Stone and all of them, they remember the lieutenants and shit, bro. Like, I remember Rollins. The reason I remember Rollins because he was a short foot like me, and he was from Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And later on we had Claxton for a little bit as our platoon sergeant.
What was that like?
He's a fucking asshole. Straight up. Glover was too. I don't know who was worse, That's their job though, I reckon. But Glover, fucking Glover, dude, for field days, this joker, the first thing he did when he came into your fucking hoot, he fucking rubbers his palm across the deck, right? So he made us use Johnson's Pace Wax. So on field day, we'd have a damp towel, and he'd be 2 or 3 hooches down, and fucking before he comes in, we'd take that towel across the deck, make sure he ain't gonna fucking get anything,
Mm-hmm.
And then Claxton, like, one thing that stands out with Claxton, he was fucking that joker. If there's a picture of a picture perfect Marine, that dude's built like a fucking brick wall.
Yeah.
And one thing that stands out with him with me is I think it was like the 4th of July maybe. There was gonna be like a fucking 96 coming up, right? He was pissed for some reason, I don't remember. He had us run out to the fuck. Everybody else in the company was off. Everybody's hopping and swooping. We're doing 3rd platoon's fucking running out to the fucking front gate. Everybody's honking at us and shit. Fucking asshole, dude.
I remember running into him in the chow hall a couple years into our service, and he had no rank. He might have been a private or something like that. I could be wrong, but I think he put his hands on somebody and got busted for that.
I heard something about, I don't know, I think he was in Alpha or Bravo, and he got kicked out of there because some shit, they were on a hump, and Lieutenant fell out. He stepped over the Lieutenant and said, the strong keep going and the weak fall. Some bullshit. That might be part of it, I don't know. But then he ended up in Charlie.
Yeah.
Did y'all have him for a little while?
No, but I remember he was in weapons.
Okay, that's what it was.
He was in weapons.
Because our berthing area was right above, staff NCOs. So I was wondering, because we had Glover. Yeah, I think he was with weapons.
Who'd you room with?
Remember fucking Van Devender, dude?
Yeah.
Fucking Van Devender. I want to find that fucker. Van Devender and Leffer.
Van Devender came to our platoon.
Huh?
I think initially Van Devender was in 2nd platoon.
Really?
Or maybe that was SOI that I remember him from. But I remember going through it with him.
He's a fucking dude. Like, I love fucking Van Devender. Like, I told you I grew up in minority, so I never even. I had white friends, but it wasn't like I never met fucking Van Devenders and fucking Ayers and fucking fucking you. Like, Van Devender was from fucking Ohio.
Yeah.
Always had a dip in his mouth.
Yep.
Always listening to fucking country music. And, he would try to get me to listen to it. And I'm like, man, I don't want to hear them talking about their dog and fucking truck in the yard, And I remember one day we got talking about grits. He's like, what the fuck is a grit? That shit's funny, bro.
What do you
And
call
then
it?
you got Lefford. Lefford's like, I think Lefford was from Jersey.
Yeah.
Loved to fucking smoke cigarettes, right? I hated being around cigarettes, dude.
Yeah,
I come in the hoops, he'd be fucking smoking. Bro, you gotta put that shit out. It ain't allowed anyway, right? I gave him 3 times. We almost got into it one day. I slapped the shit out of his fucking mouth. But he wasn't, I don't know. I don't talk bad about the dude, but he wasn't the greatest Marine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think he was.
There's always some that squeak by. I was a fucking shitbird later, I reckon. That's what I was labeled.
Why do you say that?
Just some of the shit that happened, bro. They didn't like me.
They didn't like you?
Fuck no. I mean, they did, but they didn't, Now that I look back on it. And there's good reason for it all, probably.
Can you speak to the melting pot? You kind of already did a little bit, but all these different people, walks of life coming together and having to work together. Like, I remember seeing you, and it's an interesting thing because, yes, we used to call light green Marines and dark green Marines. That was shades of green, right?
Yeah, that's all there is, green.
And I thought that was such a beautiful thing. But, you would see, like, guys, when you go out on Libo or whatever, you typically see likes with likes, right? You see a lot of the brothers would go out together, like we'd work together in platoon, and a platoon would rely upon one another and patrol and PT and do everything together. But when it came time for Libo, sometimes the dark greens would be with the dark greens and the light greens with the light greens. But I remember you as being very comfortable with everybody. But you would, because you had grown up in that environment where you were the minority, look, we had people who were complete hillbillies who probably a lot of their time growing up, there was a lot of prejudice involved. And then I'm sure the same could be said from other, basically people from different segments of the population that, let's be honest, if we never joined the Corps, we would never have come together certainly as close, as intimately as we did.
Right.
And I thought that was one of the most special things that is imaginable when I look at a lot of the, the perceived problems in this world. I feel like we are so fortunate to have seen, when you strip away all the nonsense, all the, rich versus poor, black and white, religious versus whatever, that we just had to rely upon one another to do our job and to come out alive and to accomplish the mission. And I feel like if more people had that experience, then people wouldn't be such assholes.
Yeah, bro. I agree. And fucking categories. Fucking categories.
Like the term I heard, they call it otherizing. You know,
I ain't heard that one yet.
To otherize, if it's, you know, you and me, and there's a guy who's in, I don't know, just hypothetical, you and me talking Marine Corps stuff, and there's somebody who's in the Army or a non-grunt or something like that, we would otherize them, like, you're not like us, you know. There's a natural tendency, I think, for people to sort themselves out like that. Like,
Well, we do it in the Marine Corps too. Fucking pose, you know.
yeah. Grunt
It's
versus.
kind of natural, but sometimes I, like you saying, this shit's overboard, man. Like everybody chill.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you. Like if they would have had the experience that we had, fucking sleeping on top of each other, whether you fucking like it or not, like you got to fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
Come together, accomplish the fucking mission. Everybody stay alive.
Yeah. I think that was one of the best things that, you know, best possible aspects of the experience, when you just strip away everything and say, okay, all this shit that you accumulated in your 18 years or whatever, you can just put that in a brown paper bag. Maybe we'll give that to you when you leave, but this is your new life. This is your new outfit. This is how we do things. And
Yeah. You fucking eat it or you don't. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Most of us ate it. You know what I'm saying?
Hated
We
it.
all ate it. Like we ate that fucking brown bag.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? We put it in a brown bag. We ate it and fucking we loved it, whether we did it or not.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is, and we love each other. Fucking, there ain't no getting around it. I don't give a fuck who you are, how much hate they had or whatever, but it still lingers on. What fucking 30 years later?
Yeah. And if I knew about you, like I knew that I knew enough about you to know that you had a son, right? And
Yeah.
that I knew that you were from Georgia, and you know, even if, let's say we're out there on a training op, the coolest thing is like there's no cell phones, none of that shit. So you're stripped away of all that stuff, and you're out on a training op or a hump or something, and you know, while you're sitting in that fighting hole with somebody half asleep, fucking monkey butt, and raining down on you, you share things because you don't have anybody else to share these things with, and so that's a real closeness develops and a respect. I mean, I shared the one about Williamson because I met him, and we were on we're in boot camp, and he had a child on the way. His son was born in boot camp, so he told me about that was going to happen, and I was like, man, I felt that after he shared that I had skin in the game, like a vested interest in seeing him through this process and helping him however I could. And then
You was in boot camp with Williamson.
yeah,
I'm proud of him and his wife, bro.
yeah, still married.
Same as you, like y'all got it going on.
Yeah, not easy. But so the command, the culture. How about we talked about roommates? How about some of the training that we did? What's some of the cool training you remember, you enjoyed, you hated, whatever, from the 1-6 day?
I just love being in the mud, man.
You were
City
into
boy,
it.
city boy. You know what I mean? I love being in the fucking mud. Like I hate that shit.
Yeah.
But I was when you hit me up, there was some pictures. We did some spy rigging before fucking during the workup for float,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a pretty good picture out of that. Had some cool pictures from when we was in Korea doing fucking Australian rappelling and Ranger rappelling and all that shit.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that shit. You know, I wanted to jump out of fucking planes, but you know just as well as me how hard it is to fucking get that.
Yeah.
Especially, where we in a fucking regular grunt platoon. All the quotas go to the fucking higher ups first.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking earlier. He was in recon, and he was talking about all the schools that he had done, from scuba and jump and amphibious reconnaissance school and SEER school. And
shit makes you jealous.
Yeah.
And, that's the shit I wanted to do, man. Like, I think a bunch of us did, but you know as well as I do, once you get in a line platoon, like, you're fucking stuck, man.
Yeah.
And then, like, I still keep in touch with Kenny. You remember Kenny?
Yeah.
Him and Ayala, they ended up going to recon, and fucking Bartimus too, I think, from what I've heard. I think Bartimus was like the fucking major or lieutenant colonel in recon or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was a major in Marshall.
Yeah, that's badass. There's a story. I can give you a little story, some of that too, because like when we got on float. So you remember Kramer, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody remembers Kramer. I think he's a fucking sergeant major now. So Rodriguez is my team leader. Kramer's my squad leader. Kramer's a fucking 2-year sergeant or whatever, something crazy, right? He puts me up for a meritorious board. And I was always that dude, like, you can put me, I can spit shine my boots and fucking iron my camis and answer questions out of a book in front of a couple people. How about test me out in the fucking field, right? And I didn't want to be a Kramer. Turn it down, turn another one down, turn 2 down. In my place, they sent up Bartimus. Lo and behold, Bartimus is a sergeant in like 2.5 years, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool to find out, he ended up getting his commission and shit. And fucking badass.
Big time.
Yeah.
So then we did field, and we went to Oki. How'd you find those? What was your favorite ports? You said Australia.
Yeah, Australia was. Yeah, I don't think anybody disagreed with that. They were all fucking cool and interesting. You know what I mean? It was, he's fucking 19 years old, and you can walk down the street with a beer, and get involved in the culture. I was married on the float, so I didn't do too much. I mean, I got tore up a few times, but I didn't do nothing crazy with the women. But they were there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I think for some reason France, bro, like too long. It's just I don't know. I remember fucking being out with Davis and Stone and whoever else it was. We got tore up. I got tore up, and we stopped at McDonald's before we went back to the ship. And I fucking threw up all in the daggone McDonald's, man.
Oh.
We just got fucked up and left. It's like, sorry. And I barely made it up the fucking quarterdeck. Or the fucking, whatever you call it. To the quarterdeck.
The gangplank. Yeah.
The gangplank, yeah. You remember fucking, daggone, what was his name? I think he might have been in y'all's platoon. Latino dude.
Suarez.
Not Suarez, the fucking Jack dude that fucking found some fucking shots to take. He used to always stay in the gym. But when we went to the field, anyways, that joker fell over the fucking gangplank. Remember that? They had him in the fucking IV for fucking like a day or two, trying to bring him back to life and shit. They said if he wasn't as tore up as he was, when he fell, he probably would have broke some shit. But he was relaxed as fuck, I reckon.
So this is saying
Garcia Lopez, was that his name?
Garcia Lopez.
Yeah, I remember some shit.
He was jacked, right?
Fucking A, right? He knew where to get the shit, and then we go out to the field like fucking Rain-X and all that shit would fall off of.
Yeah, I remember that. That they would, they go to pharmacies and stuff in Europe and try to
get. Yeah, it was legal and shit. Like a lot of shit's legal over there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Who was the best Marine? Who were some of the best Marines you had the opportunity to serve with?
Bro, what the hell? Best as far as what? Like,
what's some of your favorite? Obviously, your brothers, 3rd Platoon.
Oh yeah, all of them. Like, how do you fucking pick one? You know what I mean?
I know.
But obviously, you spend a lot of time with these dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unbelievable. But, you got the fucking Hares, you got the fucking Berries, the Stones, the Johnsons, the Singletons, fucking Kennys, Hacks, Doc Graham, you know what I mean? Doc Graham was he was like the religious one, right? So some of the we can talk about some of the pranks we did and shit, but it just meshes. And then we had decent leadership, they didn't split us apart. It brought us together one way or another, whether we liked it or not, but it all worked. And some are better than others.
Who's Doc Graham?
He was Doc Green from, I want to say, Montgomery, Alabama. He was a cool dude. But
was he Jack?
Say again?
Was he?
No, he was a skinny joker, man. I think that was his name. I miss him, but he'd always be in his Bible. That's the first time I started reading Bible too, when he was on shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, what else can you do, right?
Play spades.
I've never been a fucking book reader, but I dug into that a little bit.
Cool. All right, man. Let's shift gears to your time in the French Foreign Legion. what the hell was that all about? How did you decide? So you finish up, you EAS, so you get honorably discharged from 1st Battalion, 6th Marines, and you get out. At what point do you decide you're going to go in the Foreign Legion?
So, like you said, I got honorably discharged. They didn't want me to leave. I got a REA 1 re-enlistment code, right? I'm out, go back home, fucking coach Pop Warner for a few years. I'm fucking selling drugs on the street. I'm back in the bullshit, right? Got a little bit of a record. 9/11 happens, right? I'm working at Pratt & Whitney in Columbus. I was running a fucking forge press. And I don't know if you know much about Pratt & Whitney, but I don't even know if they're still around. I'm sure they are, but it's like one of the good jobs to have back home, right? They got a fucking cafeteria the size of, they got fucking out in the common areas, they got fucking streams with fucking koi goldfish and shit, big ass fucking bridges over it. Anyways, this is a nice place to work. And fucking 9/11, they different parts of the plant go on break versus other times, right? So everybody was freaking out. Like, what the fuck's going on? And so the whole plant just stopped. When I got into the fucking cafeteria where all the big screens were, I seen the fucking second plane hit. I walked out, went to the fucking desk. Back then they still had the fucking old school phones and telephone book. So I opened up the telephone book, called a recruiter, said, I'm ready to come back. So that started that process. And so I go to see a recruiter, and at that time I had a little more tattoos, and I had fucking gold teeth in my mouth. And they want to fucking take pictures of all my tattoos and shit, even though most of them I got when I was in the Corps, right? They was thinking I was in a gang or some bullshit, but so I was gonna have to get some waivers. How fucking gay is that to fucking get waivers for tattoos when you're a fucking Marine? And so they was gonna send me to Atlanta. Come over here. And the day I was supposed to get sent to Atlanta to get the waivers, I walk in the fucking recruiting office and I just hear somebody getting ripped a whole new asshole, right? Get in there, and at this time, I think I've been out, 3 or 4 years. So my military bearing it's there, but, I've been on the fucking streets. Like, anyways, this gunny gets in front of me. He's like, who the fuck are you? Like, oh my golly. And I put my hands, I try to refrain myself, and he was the one ripping everybody new assholes. And I was like, I'm here. I'm supposed to go to Atlanta. He's like, I'm the one you're fucking going to speak to. I was like, okay. And I'm looking at his fucking chest, right? He's got like 4 fucking ribbons. I'm like, yeah, this dude's a fucking gunny fucking pencil pusher. And he's talking, and he's talking to me like that. Like, motherfucker, you don't even know who the fuck I am. Like, anyways, so I walked out, man. Because I wasn't going to get arrested. I wasn't going to listen to this bitch fucking talk to me like that. And so I kind of just tucked it under the chin. And then ended up going to Tennessee. When I was in Tennessee, I used to go to the gym when I got off, and I worked night shift, so, and I was in a small town, and every time I went, there was only me and this other dude, right? We never talked to each other for a while, and then eventually it got to be where, hey, can you spot me type of deal, right? Come to find out, this dude, where he said he was, I don't know, I believed him. He used to be in Delta Force, and so we got, after that, we kind of started a little friendship. He owned a gas station and shit. So I started telling him about my story a little bit, right? Trying to go back. And he was like, you know what you need to do? You need to join the French Foreign Legion. And I was like, the fuck? He's like, they're always in the shit, right? You want to get in a fight. If that's what the fuck you want to do. Like, so he told me a little bit about it, and I never knew much about it. I remember we was PTing one day. I think it was after float. And there was these jokers in a platoon with fucking beards and shit. It was when Baker was there, yeah. And so I asked him, like, who the fuck is that? He's like, that's French Foreign Legion. I don't know what the fuck they were doing there, but they were there. And so that popped off in my head, right? And so I ended up fucking up in Tennessee, ended up having to move down here. And it kind of just stayed in the back of my head, right? I'm living with my fucking sister, first of all. You know, I'm a grown fucking man. Having to tuck tail and do that, and then live with my grandma. I'm working in a fucking restaurant, making like $8 a fucking hour. And it just kind of stayed in the back of my head, and shit wasn't working. You know, I wasn't going anywhere, man. And it got to the point that like I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna start training. So that's back when the internet was still in its infancy. I don't know. At least for me, it was, right. Like I never used to get on the internet, so I started looking shit up and trying to find out what I could about it. There wasn't a whole lot out there at that time. What I read, back then, I read a book. There was an American that wrote a book. I read it. Maybe a handful, 5 or 6 Americans make it through boot camp a year. And so it started making my dick hard a little bit, right? Like, I can do this shit. Like, who the fuck are these dopers, you know? And I don't know, bro. Something clicked, and it was like, I want to fucking help save the fucking world, right? They're part of UN. They fucking fight bad guys, supposedly. Fucking started training, bro. Getting up at 3, 4, running a couple miles. I was doing my shit. At that time, I was working for Lowe's, delivering appliances. I'd get off, hit the gym. I was in pretty good shape. I wasn't like Marine Corps shape, but I was good enough to do their shit, which was 12-minute, 2-mile. I was running about 11 and a half at that time. And I hadn't even ran for years. But yeah, man, I fucking sold everything and bought a one-way ticket to fucking France. My mama knew, my grandma, my sister, and my boss, and the dude I worked with, It's like a handful of people. They didn't want me to, but I wanted to buy my mama a house, so.
So you signed up for the.
Yeah, you just don't sign up. It ain't that easy, but yeah.
So you get on the ground in France.
Sir,
And what happens?
say again.
I'm sorry. So you get over to France. And what happens?
Yeah, fucking Paris, bro. Like, I had it planned out. So I'm doing this shit. I went to the mall, to the travel agency. So I got it all fucking planned out, right? I'm gonna take a 3-day vacation in fucking Paris before I fucking go knock on the fucking hatch, right? So I did that, and then get in there, and they send me to talk to this. He's kind of like a first sergeant, but he's from fucking Britain, and he's like, "You don't want to do this." I said, "Like, I'm here to do this shit, you know." And they basically told me to. They basically told me no, right? Told me I need to go down to Albania, right? So I get on the fucking train to Albania. I'm running out of money at this point. And get down to Albania, go to the gate, and there's this fucking dude. I don't know where the fuck he was from. He's asking me for fucking this and that, which I realize now, but I didn't understand French, right? All I had was a piece of paper that I got out of that book, and I wrote it down, and you know, basically it was telling him I want to join the French Foreign Legion, and told me to get it. Basically, I thought he was gonna whoop my ass. So now I'm on the fucking streets. He's telling me I need to go back to fucking Paris because that ain't the place that you join, right? That's like the the place that they uh, see if they want you or not. It's like a screening ground type of deal. And so now I'm fucking hitchhiking and shit, sleeping on the fucking streets for 3 nights. Yeah. So I phoned home, and I was like at a Western Union or something, and grandma hits me up with a little bit of cheese so I can get back to Paris. Go back to Paris. Now I'm fucking in. Like, y'all gave me the fucking runaround. I'm here. Like, this is for fucking real. And give them your fucking passport. Uh, all that shit changes after that, man. Like, there ain't no going back.
Right.
And I still have my original passport. This is the one this was hell to get back. I don't know if you can see that, but this was hell for me to get back.
Yeah.
Then I got another one. Well, we can get into that later, but this one's from fucking Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, but they basically, so the Legion, there's a bunch of crooks and criminals in that bitch, right? And I read about it before I got in there. They have a deep history, and a lot of it is made up of dudes running from the law. You get in there, nobody can fucking find you. They give you a new name. You have a whole new fucking identity. And if the authorities look for you, like, they're not gonna find you. Is Kip Tillman in there? No, we don't know Kip Tillman. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's some fucking wild jokers in that bitch, man. Say the fucking least. I tell you what, man. I met some good dudes in there, though.
What was it between the Corps and the Legion?
What was the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big difference. Big fucking difference. Like, that was part of why, I don't know. I haven't really ever fit in anywhere anyway, man. But, like, being a Marine and fucking, you know, everything I read was like it's an elite fucking military, right? So I'm like, hell yeah, this is me. Like, I've always wanted to be in a higher echelon anyway, right? So that was part of the appeal for me. And you get in there. I mean, imagine taking a group of dumb fucks from all around the world that don't speak the same language and try to make them fucking be better than fucking Marine is. You know what I mean? So it was, for me, it was like, okay, I can deal with some of it, you know, but some of the SOPs or so-called SOPs were fucking shit. And yeah, I ain't never been quiet, so I let it be known. Like, I remember being in commando school, and they had this fucking drill we were doing. It was like a contact front type of deal, and we're all in fucking basically a straight line, which is stupid. And I got my ass whooped for that because I didn't like it. You know, it ain't the way it's supposed to fucking be. That ain't the way I was trained, and I'm not that fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like, shit don't make no damn sense. I'm not trying to die.
You guys were all.
No, we was like in fucking straight fucking.
Oh.
Like, yeah, it was stupid, bro. Yeah.
Ranger fire?
Yeah. And I mean, there's situations you're gonna be like that, I reckon, but you know, the way they wanted to react to contact, it didn't fucking make any fucking. I don't remember exactly the way it was, but I just remember getting my ass whooped because I was like, this shit's stupid. And we're all gonna fucking die.
How about the leadership like?
So in boot camp, we had our corporal chef was he's like the fucking senior drill instructor. He was from Algeria and fucking like 7 foot tall. Fucking all of them are tough motherfuckers. There ain't no fucking fat bodies. Promise you.
No.
No. And you better learn how to use your hands and take an ass whooping at the same time. Because if you try to fight the leadership, they're all gonna come down on you.
I was gonna
Learn how to
say.
take an ass whooping. That's the main thing I learned about Legion, how to take a fucking ass whooping, bro.
Really?
Seriously. Like, you don't know French, you get it fucking beat into you. That's the way you learn.
So they. So
Yeah.
you got all these people who are criminals. How the hell you keep discipline them and hold them together?
That's the thing. Like, so when I was in, and I listened to this fucking Navy SEAL talk about being in French Foreign Legion the other day, a little while back. The bitch is lying. I don't want to call him a bitch, but he's fucking lying. Unless they fucking totally revamped and changed shit, he's lying like fuck. He's getting paid for it, so I respect him for being a SEAL, but I listened to him, and I think I even sent it out to a couple of y'all. What'd you ask me again, bro?
Now, the one I watched was where the baseball pitcher bounced the ball off the ground and hit the woman in the sandwich.
I think I sent it to Henderson and a couple other dudes that know that I fucking went over there and stuff.
Right in the roast sandwich.
Yeah, that was funny as shit to me. Gotta laugh, man. Shit ain't funny these days.
I know, man.
It's sad.
I know. So where did your travels in the Legion take you?
So, boot camp. I got top. I got the top of the class in the range, rifle range. And at that time, that was the first time I ever shot through a fucking scope, really. Like, we had the 8-point, the eye point, whatever they call it. It was American made, I think. So there was 8, I think there was 8 of us that got selected to go to fucking Doozy Rep, which is parachute unit down in Corsica. Parachute regiment. So went down there, fucking did jump school, and as soon as I got in my company, went to fucking Africa, Gabon, Africa.
For station?
Say again?
To be stationed?
No, it was a deployment. Like, we were stationed on Corsica, but a deployment to fucking Gabon. Yeah.
So is that where a lot of the French Foreign Legion, their home base is Corsica? Or just as one of the locations?
Doozy Rep, the parachute regiment. That's the home base.
Okay. So how was Africa? Africa, what'd you do there?
Patrolled the jungles. Did a couple jumps into other parts. And patrolled the jungles, man. We would it was all on like fucking, like, I don't want to say 5 tons, but like small, I don't know, smaller than 5 ton maybe. So it was mostly military, or what do you call it, mechanized.
Yeah.
All in fucking trucks, and looking for heat, and fucking, we'd stop in little villages and sleeping in a lot of churches, a lot of schools overnight, shit like that, out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Cooked our own meals. We didn't have MREs and shit like that. That's another thing, like, there ain't fucking washing machines and shit unless you're lucky. Like, back in the rear there is in Africa, but like, even boot camp, we're washing our fucking clothes by hand. There ain't no heat, no fucking air, nothing like that. It's just how it is. It's kind of like the Marine Corps, do most with the less.
So how long you wound up staying in the Legion?
11 months, like almost a year, and then I fucking dipped.
Just
I got the fuck out, bro. Like the shit that I was basically being made to do, it didn't agree with my morals. Like I'm not a fucking savage, right? Like if somebody shoots at you, you're naturally gonna fucking shoot back, right? But who the fuck's shooting at you? When you find out who it is, like there's some wild shit going on in Africa, man. They recruit fucking kids and shit, like you wouldn't even fucking believe it. Like it's fucking sad, man. That place, and it's rich in fucking resources. Like it could be one of the richest fucking places in the world, but it's not fucking organized. Everybody's dipping in and taking advantage of them places, man. Yeah, so I ended up fucking making a plan to get the fuck out. And that's another thing about the Legion. Like, there half of them jokers in there, especially like Romanians and fucking folks from, poor fucking countries. They stay in for a little bit, and stack a little cheese and fucking dip, and they go back home and live like rich men. And so I started pulling my money out of the fucking bank, and I was stashing it off into like this. I had this big ass fucking. There was this big fucking pile of rocks on the base, and I was hiding my shit in there because there was only so much I could take out every day, and that night I fucking like you just ain't gonna walk out of that bitch, right? Like the fucking concertina is on the inside of the fucking wall, not the outside. It's almost like a fucking. It's almost like a fucking prison, dude. Like you're here, you ain't going no fucking where. And yeah, I freaked out one night. And, I was like, "This is it." And I had my PT uniform on. Ran into a fucking guard. I think he was a Polish dude, and he fucking, he had a rifle, wanted to fight. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna fight you. And I don't know if he did it deliberately because I left the area. I don't know if he turned his back deliberately, you know what I mean? But I went through fucking 3 strands of concertina, like over a 6-foot wall, 7-foot wall. And I ended up having to take my top off because it was getting fucking snagged. And just had to eat shit, get through, you know what I mean? Get out in the village and fucking go see my little girl I had. And there was a hotel that I knew that I had been to, and the owner, or at least the guy that ran the joint, he was from fucking Maryland, black dude, and he had went to the University of Maryland, so he was a smart dude, you know what I mean? And I went there because all my interactions with him were good, right? And I wanted a fucking t-shirt, and he gave me a fucking t-shirt, man. So now I'm walking down the road trying to get to the embassy. Let these jokers know I'm American. I'm trying to get back home. Meanwhile, all my fucking money is still in them rocks. And so I get to the fucking embassy, dude, and I meet the fucking ambassador, all that shit. They put me up in a hotel. They give me some cheese to buy some clothes and set me up for a ticket back to the States. I got a signed fucking waiver saying I'm gonna pay all this shit back, right? So I go down to the market and I'm buying fucking long sleeve shit, a fucking hat. You know, it's fucking, we're on the fucking equator, right? But I didn't want anything to be recognizable. They hooked me up with a new passport because, you know, mine was surrendered. And so they hooked me up with a new passport. This fucking passport, it has an exit visa from fucking Gabon, right? There isn't an entry visa because I came in with a French fucking passport, but the higher ups have them. That's another thing about that Navy SEAL. He's lying like fuck. How the fuck you gonna take? Because when he did the interview, supposedly he was still in, but he did the interview in fucking California. How you get to California, dude, without a fucking passport? And now you're here fucking bragging about or talking about this shit, you know?
Right.
But yeah, so I'm sitting in the fucking airport and the waiting dock fucking and I'm facing this way. Somebody comes in from the entrance behind me. Tom's. And I'm like, oh fuck. And he's got 3 fucking policemen with him. Like civilian police. And he comes in front of me, he's like, come on, let's go. And I'm like, I'm not going. And if I was smart, I probably should have just acted like I didn't understand what the fuck he was saying, right? Because now I'm Kip again. Like, I don't know who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? I fucking gave in like a dumbass, stood up, let him walk me out. And, so the embassy, the only thing they could do technically was get me in there, get me the passport, get me in there. But they supposedly they couldn't fucking like protect me or anything, right? So we get out into the hallway because they were standing outside like watching me the whole time. It was like 2 or 3 of them. I don't know who they were, but so I get out there and fucking only thing I could think to do was throw my passport to them. Like, this is me, don't fucking forget. Like, and they supposedly they couldn't do shit, man. Like, I don't know. I ended up in fucking prison for a little bit. It's a long story, bro.
Damn.
It's kind of wild. Now that I look back at it, like, it's pretty wild.
What was the prison for? Desertion?
Yeah. Yeah. And so once I get in there, fucking, like, now they're offering me any job I want. They want to take me back to Corsica. And I'm not, hell, I would have ended up dead. If they would have sent me to Corsica, I would have ended up fucking dead. We wouldn't be fucking talking.
Because
that's another thing that happens, bro. Like, motherfuckers come up missing left and right. Some of them desert. Some of them are off. And nobody knows. Nobody fucking cares. That type of deal. Yeah.
So you How do you feel about the French Foreign Legion experience as a whole? Is it something you would do again?
Fuck no. And especially any American that fucking has a fucking tickling in their dick to do it. Fuck no, bro. You're hung out to dry. That bitch is made up of the 80, I'd say 80, at least 80% fucking Russians. Then you got a bunch of Polonais, a bunch of there's a few Ukrainians, a lot of East fucking Europe, but it's mostly Russian, dude. They don't like us. Period. Point fucking blank. I was sitting. So I told you we used to cook our own food, right?
Yeah.
And these are traditions that the Legion has. Like you cook your own shit. You all eat together. It's part of French tradition too. But so we're in the fucking jungle. We're under this fucking pavilion. This big pavilion with a big ass fucking table, and we're sitting down to eat. And there's this corporal across from me. And when I first got to the platoon, I thought he was like Asian, right? Because he looks fucking Asian. But every time I see him talking, he's talking with the Russian guys. And he speaks their shit, like, good. And so this night, man, it's kind of like the bonding shit in the Marine Corps, right? We're across the table. He's across the table from me, and there's like 5 other Russians on the side of him. I didn't know he was Russian. I thought he was fucking like Asian or something.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's like Mongolian or something. But he asked me, he's like, "Do you hate Russians? Were you raised to hate Russians?" I was like, "No, man. I wasn't raised that way, right?" And he looks me dead in the fucking eyes. He says, "I was." And he fucking takes a bite of whatever we were fucking eating, and I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at the other guys, and they're all just fucking staring at me, like, you know, like even in we did a live fire range in boot camp, and they put me on the left flank of, we was doing fire maneuver, like I think it was probably squad level, and they put me on the left flank, and kind of like cats, some fun shit. And all of a sudden, I got rounds hitting on the deck like 4 or 5 meters from me. Like, I know the motherfuckers don't know how to shoot, but this shit's purpose. So it just it was kind of inevitable, man. Like, I didn't pick the greatest time to fucking try to desert, but it is what it is. I don't know how much longer I would have lasted, to tell you the truth. There's a lot of shit goes on, bro. Like, rounds get flying in the fucking dark, and all of a sudden, who did it? Type of shit, and fucking nobody knows you're here. Like, who the fuck gives a fuck?
Any other?
Huh?
Any other Americans?
I met one. Okay, so I was in Africa. He was in another company, and we found out about each other. So naturally, I'm trying to bond towards him, right? And supposedly, this dude was a fucking Navy SEAL. He had a big fucking green fucking frogman tatted on his chest. He had a story that he had got kicked out because he fucking took it to a lieutenant or some crazy shit. And every time I seen him, he was always reading books and shit. But he wasn't as good a shape as I was. But we went to the gym a few times, and it's just hard for me to believe somebody with that level of training would submit to that shit. It's not elite, bro. Being a Marine, you know, this dude's a Navy SEAL and he's had all this fucking crazy ass training that I'm jealous of, and he's willing to fucking run these fucking tactics, go out on patrol without fucking what do you call it? Checkpoints. Even fucking checkpoints. Like, just go out and fucking see what's out there. Like, we don't care where the fuck you're at. Like, you know, carry fucking 5 pounds of water in your back and we hope you make it back. Like, this shit's fucking, no, bro.
Oh, that's very interesting. So tell me about, you said there's some other stuff you wanted to talk about. You mentioned earlier about, you know, the world being a sad place.
Yeah, man, like you was alluding to earlier, like all this racial bullcrap. It's fucking played out. Like, and what irks me is, like, a couple years ago I was being called a white supremacist just because I didn't agree with, you know, mostly like the folks back home that I grew up with. I didn't agree with the way they fucking were thinking and shit. Like, yeah, we've all been fucking done wrong. You know what I mean? We've gotten past that. Or I thought. Like, where the fuck are we going? Like, back there's back there. Golly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Leave this shit alone, man. Like, you know, all this fucking hate, bro. Like, it's all in the Bible. It's inevitable, but it's just hard to watch, you know?
Yeah, it is.
And, you know, like you were saying, folks like us that, you know, we've had the experience of fucking dealing with jokers that we never would have fucking had to or even wanted to, you know? But it made us a fucking family, like.
Yeah. See, I think that's part. I think that it takes some serious leadership, some people who have that perspective and really mean it. I don't know. I mean, I've been spinning my wheels, especially talking to the guys about, you know, a couple of weeks ago, my son got a Marine Corps recruiting piece of mail, you know, for Sam Oberst, and it made me reflect upon our service and how important it was, how special I believe it was. And that's a big part of why, you know, making motivation is about me trying to reflect on that and cultivate it and really just kind of honor some cool people and stories and where we come from. And so I would love to have, on the one hand, I would love to have my child, I'd like to say, hey, you know, I know right what you should do when you graduate high school, but
Yeah. Is he interested?
I don't think so. I shared with him the other day. I said, man, I want to let you. I texted him on the way to work. And
I wish he would have stayed in fucking football, man. I seen him coming out in the cuts.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of camps you sent him to, but that joker was coming out in the cuts pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. He was great. And he's developing now. He's spending all kinds of time in the gym and hanging out with his buddies, and he's working. He's busting tables and shit. So I'm proud of him. His work ethic is really strong, and he reminds me a lot of me when us when I was growing up, when we were coming up. But my point is,
we know where it gets it from.
Yeah, my point though, Kip, is what's worth fighting for? Like I was a big, and I am a big patriotic guy. Like I love this country. I love, we have so many freedoms and we got a great thing going. I just feel like I don't trust any motherfucker to put my son or daughter out there as a pawn on a chessboard,
Yeah, I feel you. Especially these days.
I don't trust them. I don't think that they take it seriously. I don't think that we, that whole the heroic thing where we're going to solve, like obviously on the tail end of a World War II or a 9/11 or something like that, everybody responds to the call. It's a very noble thing. And then the world's still a pretty crazy place, but I don't trust these motherfuckers who are leading. That's why I ask about like who was the most. I asked Grant or Beck and Stone who they thought was a real iconic Marine, somebody who was great, that we remember, and they said Baker.
Who's gonna deny that?
Nah.
Like, who the fuck? Yeah, I slap them in the fucking face if they. But I don't want to single anybody out. But if you want to talk about Baker, bro, like, I got my grandpa's flag. Baker, this is the dude that taught me to be half of a man, right? Half Cherokee Indian. He reminded me so much of my grandpa.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, really? I don't know if you know, but I ended up having to go to level 3.
What's that?
Fucking rehab, bro. For drinking. They sent me on a FAP. And so they sent me to fucking headquarters battalion. So now I'm with all the folks and shit, and women in the barracks. We're all living together and shit, right? They think I'm fucking Superman every time we go out on a run. I go out on Libo to Jacksonville, Florida. I get jumped down there. So I come back, my face is all fucked up, and I'm hungover and shit, and I got my head on the fucking desk. So at that time, the leadership was a woman, sergeant, and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I told her a little bit about it. She sends me to the fucking wizard, right? So now I'm in here with the wizard. They're asking me fucking questions. Do you drink? How much do you drink? Well, I drink more than you. Like, I got buddies back in my fucking company that can drink more than all of us put together. They fucking labeled me an alcoholic. Sent me to level 3.
Well, any one of us wound up there.
Well, the thing I was getting to, like, with Baker, and I listened to his shit with Rock, or what's his name? Jocko, yeah. So when I was in level 3, when I got out of level 3, I think I had like 8 months left, but I had to sign a paper saying that I wouldn't drink again, or I'd get discharged. So I wasn't allowed to drink anymore. So we get Okie. I'm drinking in my room. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm hiding, right? And fucking team I had, these young bucks, they talked me into going down to the fucking meat club, Friday night fights, right? And we're walking back, and lo and behold, there's fucking 3 Hollywood Marines coming down the same fucking sidewalk. We get into it and fucking whoop her ass. I get up to we was on the 3rd floor then too. Get up to the top of the ladder deck, and fucking Baker's standing there. I got a fucking ripped sweatshirt on and shit. And he just kind of fucking chuckled. Get your ass in the hooch. He could have fucking, he could have fucking turned me in. Matter of fact, when I got promoted corporal, the day after I had my wisdom teeth pulled, I'm standing there in formation, blood pouring down. He said, here comes Baker. He's like, you want me to? I was like, fuck yeah. They don't do that shit no more.
Yeah.
Fucking pansies, bro. Put that shit in my collarbone, bro, please. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was just about the best, man.
Yeah, he's fucking same as Zimbek.
Oh god, yeah.
I learned stuff about him after he left or after I got out. Like Stone talked about it a little bit. He had us down on the beach fucking rolling. We weren't doing basic fucking line training. And this shit was like taboo back then, but it was badass.
Yeah.
I think they've incorporated a lot of it now.
Big time. Yeah, he used to joke the shit out of it. Suarez was in Bravo, Suarez was in Bravo Company after he left us for some reason. And that's what Zembeck would do as a second lieutenant or first lieutenant or whatever. Probably second lieutenant.
Suarez was my dude, man.
Suarez is funny as shit. I love him.
I had him on my fucking Facebook, but I don't think he likes me anymore.
No, that's not true.
Fucking Suarez. Me and him went out on Libo a few times. He's a fucking character, too.
Oh, he's great. He was my roommate for a while, so we were pretty close, but I just had an exchange with him yesterday, so he a million Suarez stories, but he would say he would do shit like he wasn't a big partier really. So he would go out to the movies and he was really into sci-fi.
Right.
So he would come back from I don't know, let's say it's fucking Avatar, Superman, fucking new Star Trek movie, and he would come back and he'd be like, "Oh man, Oberst, I went out to the Jacksonville cinemas. I saw the freaking Avatar movie. Man, that shit could never happen. Everybody knows that exoplanet doesn't." He's like the guy, if you remember.
He's serious about it too,
and he knows shit. He knows shit. He's like the guy. To me, he's the character from Transformers. You remember John Turturro was the guy from Transformers. He's like this guy. Everybody thought he was crazy, but he actually knew some shit.
Fucking Suarez, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he doing good?
Yeah, I believe he was living in. He got married and he lived in Minnesota.
Really?
Of all places, he's from.
Wasn't he from fucking Orlando or somewhere?
Orlando, yeah. So he goes to moves out to Minnesota. He's been there for maybe 10 years, and now he just said that he's moving back to Orlando. So he's funny. Years and years ago, I knew that we were going to be down in Orlando for a cheer competition or football or something. So I contacted them, and he shows up, dude. He was so entertaining for my kids. He was like walking on his hand. He was really fit, and he was walking on his hands all around and jumping over picnic tables. The kids were following him all around Universal Studios, doing like parkour and shit.
That's good shit.
Same old Suarez, but he tagged. He knows that I like to shoot the shit with him, so he tagged me in something about this new sci-fi movie that's sucks. It could never happen because oh my god, he speaks in foreign tongues about it, but it's so funny. He's so smart and so fucking funny when it came to shit like that.
Yeah, he's yeah. Suarez. I don't know why. For some reason, it seems like second and third we were always closer. Like for some reason, it feels like first is like the outcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess because our birthing areas were closer together or whatever.
Yeah, we had a lot
We had
of.
more interaction than we did with fucking first platoon.
I think you're right, but
you know, the fucking Pops of the world, the daggone Presleys. You just don't find them every day on the street.
Oh, man, too great guy. I got to get Presley on here, man.
I tried to listen to Rumpler and Williamson. I don't know if the comms was jacked up. I tried to listen to Nunn and what you call it, Oster, but you might have to redo them, bro.
I am gonna, because so what happened there is yeah, I wasn't on this streaming app. This app that we're on right now called StreamYard.
Yeah.
This audio is going to come up. It's going to come up real clear. So Nunn and Oster were prior to that, and then Forsman, I had him on a different type of. I called him on this Bluetooth thing. So I'm learning more and more about how to do this right.
So
And
all of them were just basically simple or strictly audio.
Well, Forsman was, but Nunn and Oster were on. It was like fucking Skype or something. It's what I had to do at that time. Like I have a whole studio. It's a tiny little spot, but I have this room back here with microphones and earphones and all that shit and a little recorder. But if I want to get video, then I had to get a subscription to this StreamYard, which has been doing really well. This will come across really clean and it downloads everything nice. And the audio is good. We have a little bit of an audio defect, but I don't know what that's all about. It seems like when I first start talking, I can hear it coming through and a little scratchy on your end, but I'm clear right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about my end, but
yeah, great. Good audio and video, so it's good, man. So
yeah, I like what the fuck you're doing, bro. Like,
thanks, buddy.
Like I was telling you earlier, like, just get you a daggone channel and upload some shit, bro. Like,
yeah,
that shit's motivating.
Yeah, so making motivation is really about I touched on this earlier, but it's like it all for me, and I think for a lot of us, it was somebody saying, okay, well, you can't do this. You're a young man. You want to test yourself. Try to do something impossibly hard that not everybody can do. Leave all your freaking civilian shit behind and then find out who you really are. And on that path, I think that we did a lot of cool shit. We lived to tell about it, and thankfully did not have to. I know on some level we all wanted to go off and do the job.
I know that, dude. I'm fucking Lieutenant Dan. That's why I fucking joined. Like, I didn't even want to come back. Like, let me die for my daggone country. Like, what better else fucking accolade is there than that? Like, that's the way I was raised by that dude.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's disappointing, but
hey, we stuck our necks out, man. We signed our lives away. We trained hard. The whole train. More you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. I feel like we did all that shit. And you think about some of the things we did in training with live fire and vehicles and, sleeping out on the ground and eating junk and, just surviving. The only thing that got me through it was you guys, so that's motivating to me. So I guess in closing, my friend, what motivates you about all the things we're talking about? What does Semper Fidelis mean to you?
exactly what it says. Always fucking faithful. I ain't gonna leave y'all.
Yeah.
And for me, on the bigger picture, like, bro, I've never been into politics. Never wanted to be. I want to be here for my country, some kind of fucking way. And to be real honest, like I told you, I don't have friends or fucking family, so I ain't got a big dog in the fight. But y'all's kids, y'all's youngins, the youngins of fucking Ober, Singleton, none, fucking Williamson, Stone, them youngins, man. What the fuck are we gonna leave them? Piece of shit. So my little bitty ass voice, I throw it out there on Facebook. I ain't able to do some of the stuff that I wish I could, but if I can throw my loud ass voice on Facebook and maybe somebody pays attention to something and fucking agrees with it, then booyah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, one thing that I did that was pretty cool, Kip? I did this a while ago. There was an old guy. Guy was in his late 80s. He's a patient of mine. So he said we would always talk. That's one of the cool things about, being a chiropractor is I meet a cross section of the population. It's like a melting pot that comes in here, young, old, different walks of life. So this guy, he would always talk to me about whatever, deep thoughts, politics, this, that, and the other thing. And he invited me to something at the library that was called a Socrates Club. So you show up, I show up, and say there's a dozen of us there. Everybody gets to offer up, hey, what are we going to talk about today, guys? We're going to talk about immigration. We're going to talk about education. And then, it goes around and we all say, okay, show of hands, who wants to talk about education? And then
fucking conversation.
Yeah. And
whether you like it or not.
Yeah. And then so it's civil.
Right.
It's there's disagreements, different points of view, but it's civil. And I thought it was a great thing. And it was mostly retirees, but I think that podcasts and having good conversations with different people, like I've always been like a middle of the road guy. I try to see under other people's point of view.
Yeah, you're better at that than me.
Well, you know what? There's something that
you're a fucking Yankee. It's probably why I don't know.
So you hear the phrase "to steal man." So if let's say we're talking about gun rights, Second Amendment shit, and then my point of view is pro-gun, and I'm talking. What's that?
That's good for me to hear from you.
Yeah, but in order for me to have a complete understanding or to have a conversation, let's say you're anti-gun, the exercise would be I would steel man your point of view. I would say, well, this is my opinion. I think that, I reserve the right to keep and bear arms under the Second Amendment for this, and the other thing. But I understand that Kip doesn't feel that way. And I think the reason why he feels that way is because of these things. Am I right, Kip? And you'd be like, oh, yeah, well, that's really what. So it really just kind of like trying to find common ground. Like everything has become a pissing contest,
Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
I just wish we all had conversations and, had people to talk about stuff with. So this is me trying to do that.
I'm happy you're doing it, man.
What's that?
I'm happy you're doing it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming on, man. It's an honor to talk to you, man. You're always somebody who I always loved and respected from back in the day. And it frustrates me sometimes. Like when when I talked to you guys, like I said it with Williamson and Rumpler the other day, or back in Stone, it's like 30 years go by. We were joined at the hip, and then all of a sudden that's done. And then 30 years go by, and we might keep in contact on social media, or maybe we do a Marine Corps birthday and get together a little bit. But it makes me feel good to be in contact with you guys, because if there was ever any way that we could help each other or talk to each other or listen to one another, I think that's an awesome thing. I want to keep in touch with you, you know?
Oh yeah, there's one thing I wanted to say, man. First of all, I want to say fuck you, Eric. I don't blame you, but so like I think it was the last one you did with Beck and Stone, right? So
Yeah.
Stone talked a little bit about me coming up there to see him. He's a lot more fucking humble than I am. It wasn't necessarily the fucking case. So you're talking about us helping each other and shit. This dude, like, so my girlfriend lived in Ohio at the time. So I arranged going up there around Christmas to see her. But at the same time, since I'm in the area, me and Stone's gonna fucking hook up for a couple of days or whatever. Anyways, she fucking kicks me out on Christmas Day, bro. So I'm in a hotel, right? So I call Stone like the day after Christmas, and I'm like, bro, can we up the date on fucking linking up and shit? And I'm on my way. Fucking drove like 2 hours to come pick me up. Paid for fucking everything. I tried to give him money. When he dropped me off at the fucking airport, I left him some. We cuss each other out from time to time. He's a good dude.
He's awesome.
Yeah. I talk to Kenny a lot too. You know, Kenny's over in fucking Australia and shit.
So he commented, I'm sure he'll listen to this. I remember him. Obviously, he was part of that crew that was there in leadership positions when we showed up, and then they were out, a year or so later. But I remember him, and I remember him most because he commented on the post that I made on Facebook when I shared Beck and Stone's thing. So I saw him; he chimed in there. And,
yeah, Kenny's in the recon, bro.
Yeah. So he wound up in Ayala, yeah. So, we got to stick together, and that Semper Fidelis, that always faithful. That is a challenge, and it's us maintaining precedent and respect and support of our brothers. So, I would, there's no greater honor. Obviously, we all got shit going on, lives and stuff, but we need to be better in touch, and so. That's why this is really the first community that I reached out to in doing these podcasts, because I have, other people that are interesting, have stories and stuff. I'm going to get trickled down to everybody, but I figure this is the place to start because this is like our origin story, man.
Yeah.
And so if we can stay in contact, maybe we feel a little bit better about the world and the people that we have in it. Maybe we remember when we're having a tough day or whatever, that I could always reach out to Tillman or Stone or Rumpler or whoever to, keep them better in touch. We need to, because we shared something very special together. So I appreciate your this is 2 hours, brother, that you spent with me, and I love you, man.
I love you too.
And I'm here for you at a moment's notice. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your service, and Semper Fi, my brother.
Semper Fi.
Have a great weekend.
Love you,
Love you, Ben.
Later, bro. Love you.